Hello and welcome to Goddess Resurrection. My name is Britta and I am your host. And today's episode is on goddess energy. And we'll be talking about the foundational aspects to goddess work, which is, of course, energetic, vibrational, it's energetic awareness. And we'll be addressing this in regard to relationship, because it seems that most of you are really interested in these dynamics. And of course, what I want to share and what I want to teach you today, which is all about understanding your own energy, working with your own energy, staying in your own energy, which is feminine energy. And goddess work is based on you being in your feminine energy. Because when you're in your feminine energy, you're in your divinity. And from here, you will choose your masculine energy, the way you think, how you speak, how you choose, how you respond from this guidance, from your divine self guidance, from your light. It's going to shift everything, and it's applicable in all areas of your life. It's applicable in business, it's applicable with family, with friends, with fun time, and of course in relationship, right? Because it is a relearning. It's a new way of existing in this world. As you know, we have been conditioned out of our feminine energy for millennia. So now, yes, we have to relearn it, but let's up the stakes, let's up the ante, and let's just be the goddesses that we have come here to be, right? Now, before we dive in, hello. Hello, my gorgeous sister. How are you? I hope you are well. I hope you are breathing and feeling. I'm so happy to be here with you. And from here, let's get started right away. Because, like sometimes I go over these videos and I can just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And I'm like, okay, let's get to the point, Britta. So go ahead and come into your breath, eyes open. Breathe. Nice, deep, full, slow belly breaths, eyes open, and continue with whatever it is you were gonna do, whether it's you're, in the house, or you're listening to this while you're walking your dog, or you're lounging on the couch. Breathe and keep your eyes open. The practice is to stay so present of yourself, because that's what feminine energy is. And that's what feminine energy is about. It's about you focusing on yourself, because that's where the magic happens, because you, as the feminine energy, are the magnet. You, as the feminine energy, are the portal for the divine. You, as the feminine energy, are in the authenticity, are in the joy, you're in the playfulness, you're in the softness, you're in the vulnerability, but you're also in the strength and the powers of your light. You and your feminine energy are goddess embodied. And before we dive into the specifics of it, I do want to say that, yes, I am speaking to the feminine, but if you are in a same-sex couple, it works just the same way. One is always going to be more anchored in the feminine, and one is always going to be more anchored in the masculine. It's just the way the balance of the polarities works. So whether you're two females or two males, it doesn't matter. The one I'm speaking to here today on this podcast in general is the feminine. I speak to the feminine energy, the one who holds the feminine energy. And let me dive in. Let me start this all by saying, so imagine yourself. Imagine yourself in your feminine energy, right? And we're going to get into the setup of it energetically in a second. But so here you are in your feminine energy. And the feminine energy is vulnerability too, right? It's emotion, feeling, processing, expressing emotion, channeling, receiving guidance, speaking of higher parts of the soul. And so when we're really looking at the sacred union, and I'm saying sacred union, of course, all soul connections are sacred. All relationships are sacred, obviously. But when it comes to goddess work, we have to understand that, this requires a certain level of healing, right? We now are in that place where we're able to be in our feminine energy, not in the thinking, not in the reacting, not in the old identifications, not in the old temptations, right? They may still come up, but we're very aware of our own stuff. And we're very aware of our own patterns. And we're very aware of our own wounding. And we're very aware of how far and how much we've healed. And if and when it does still come up, and if and when it does still get triggered, we immediately get to it. We immediately take to it. We immediately take responsibility for it, which allows this goddess work to strengthen and to deepen. Because Goddess always tends to self. Goddess always self-observes. Goddess always aims to heal more deeply, more fully, so that she can embody more light. And so when I'm talking about this dynamic of the polarization, feminine, masculine, yes, there is a beautiful, beautiful sweet spots if and when both are healed enough to allow for both of them to be in the feminine energy. Because remember, the feminine energy is the portal for the light. The feminine energy is the portal for the divinity. The feminine energy is the opening to the soul. The feminine energy is the space through which the souls connect. So if both are healed enough and brave enough and desiring of the deep, deep depths that sacred union is meant to open into, then this magical place of both being in the feminine energy, not always, of course, but it's this space and time when it's closeness, it's physical closeness, it's emotional closeness, it's touch, it's cuddly, it's warmth, it's sharing, it's expressing, it's just being, right? When both are able to just be, when both are able to just feel so safe, where there is no judgment, there is no more fear, there is no more block, there is no more, the old blocks, the old shutdown, the old, avoidant. It's too much, it's too deep, it's too much, right? So that's not there anymore, but it's really that willingness to drop into that space where the souls can actually really merge and touch and dance. And it doesn't have to be through sexuality, it could be sensuality, right? It can be sexual as well, but this place is really that potent place for deep sharing and closeness and connection and expression, and really seeing each other and being with each other on that soul level, because both need to be in their feminine energy in order for the soul's depth and memory to come forth, right? It's very deeply bonding. And so in order for the masculine to feel safe, to let himself drop into this feminine energy space with his partner, the feminine needs to be very secure in her feminine. She needs to be pretty seated and centered within her feminine. Like he needs to know her in her feminine, knowing that she's secure there so that he can actually let himself be there, feeling safe. So in order for this magical space to happen, it is up to the feminine energy to set that foundation, to be in her feminine energy, to be secure in her feminine energy, to be that space that he doesn't feel judged in, that he doesn't feel the need to run away from, that he doesn't need to feel like something bad is going to happen. So that this true, deep soul exchange can actually happen. And that's sacred union. And of course, and then they go off and do their life, and day-to-day things, and children and family and business and, stuff. Life is filled with stuff. And we want to continue to maintain these dynamics, right? For the feminine energy to maintain herself in her feminine energy, and for the masculine to continue to be in the masculine energy. That's the normal day-to-day. We're dealing with life. We're here in this balance together kind of a dynamic. But when there is alone time and when there is special being together time, right, that's the sweet spot. And when both are healed enough and strong enough, they will want that. They will make time for this. They will schedule it in, because that's how important and magical and bonding this space is. Now, that being said, that is something that every relationship can work toward. Every relationship can elevate into sacred union. Every relationship can grow and evolve and strengthen. But, it takes work, right? It takes that work. And so for you as the feminine, you have to understand how important your role is, how important it is for you to stay in your feminine and for you to become comfortable in your feminine and to realize that you are the divine and you are all the powers of the divine, but you're also the patience. You're also the wisdom. You are the playfulness. You are the sensuality. You are the grace. You are the empowerment, right? When you are in your divine alignment, when you are in your feminine energy, you are setting the tone for the ability of the growth of the relationship, for the ability of the expansion of the relationship, because it is only when this soul connection really is possible that the mission that this connection came together for can be completed. That's how magical this is. Moving into the new earth, moving into the higher consciousness realms, we really need to understand how deeply profound, how deeply important this soul merging, this deep soul connection and opening, and how important it is to the contracts of the souls. And so just quickly, one more, when we look at the old relationship dynamics of the old paradigm, where, most relationships, break down because both are in their masculine energy, right? It becomes a competition. It becomes a constant looking at the other. It becomes a constant defense mechanism, meaning avoidant. It becomes a constant attachment, meaning needy. Give me approval, give me love, right? And this is all from wounding. And so when we are looking at relationship, we have to understand that there's still so much healing that needs to be done. You know, relationships need to commit themselves to their healing, because the man cannot fully anchor in his divine masculine without healing, and the female cannot anchor herself fully in her divine feminine without healing, right? Because these patterns still are so strong. This wounding is still so strong, and it, of course, always activates the masculine energy, no matter the coping mechanism. Attached, avoidant attached, anxious attached, protection mechanism, coping mechanism, defense mechanisms. These are all masculine energy patterns, all of them. Versus when we are in our feminine energy, we're actually now witnessing that we are none of that. I'm not this avoidant. I'm not this attached. I'm not this fear. I'm not this doubt. I'm not this need to control. I am not this need for attachment. I am not this need for codependency. I am not this need for validation. I'm not this need. Because when we're in our feminine, we are in that light alignment. So let's go ahead and let's get you into this space. This is the foundation for the goddess work. So eyes open, breathe. And from here, let's go ahead and let's really mark your space. Really mark your space all the way around. Extend your arms out to the tips of your fingers. This is your auric field. Remember, look at your field. Look at how big it is. Really mark your space. Mark your space for yourself. All the way above your head, below your feet, all around. This is your space, your auric field. Breathe. Stay in your breath. Keep your eyes open. Now in your mind's eye, stay aware of your space. Stay aware of your space. And if you need to, you can keep your arms extended out to the sides and just keep looking. Where are the fingertips, right? If you can't do it right away, that's okay. You'll grow into it. And from here now, go ahead and come back into the grounding, grow your roots, bring your attention down to the roots, out through the soles of your feet, like a beautiful big tree. See the roots, feel the roots, be the roots, deepening and widening, stabilizing yourself in this incarnation. From here on the inhale, go ahead and bring up the earth vibration. See Mother Earth, feel Mother Earth, visualize Mother Earth like that beautiful tree up through the roots, bringing up the earth vibration. And filling yourself up all the way up, opening through the crown and spilling the earth vibration over into your outer bodies. This is all now happening through the third eye vision. It might be something that you still need to practice. That's okay. Stay with it. Practice is only going to be the door opening to you becoming so good at it and so secure in it, right? It's like learning a new language. So don't get impatient, because that's masculine energy. Remember, feminine energy is patience. So from here, let's put it all together. Eyes open. And in your mind's eye, you're seeing yourself bringing up the earth vibration through the roots. Visualize it in a certain color. Maybe it's a sensation to you. Bring Mother Earth up all the way. Fill up your entire body. Open through the top of your head, through your crown chakra, and spill her over into your auric field. See it, sense it, feel it, visualize it. Play make-believe if you have to. And here you are in your awareness. And so this is the awareness of your energy space. This is what is necessary for you to learn how to stay in your own energy, because you as a goddess Always stay in your own energy. There is no more reaching. There is no more needing. There is no more attaching. There is no more avoiding. There is none of that. When you are in your goddess consciousness, you stay in your own energy, because from here you manifest everything. You don't even need to lift a finger, literally. You manifest. Of course, you're going to be taking action because you're going to be guided on the divine action, right? From your light self, from your divinity self, but we're not done yet. So from here, staying in the breath, bringing up the earth vibration, eyes are open. And from here, let's bring it into the body. Remember, feminine energy is always about the body. Remember, feminine energy has to be you being in your body awareness. Remember, feminine energy is about you getting away from the masculine, which is external, into your body, in our connection. And so go ahead and breathe up and down your spine on top of everything else. Yes. Because you as goddess are opening up your sensory and you're opening up your abilities, and there's so much you can do. This is just the beginning. This is just foundational. So stay with it. Breath, eyes are open, bringing up the earth vibration, spilling her over. And at the same time, now go ahead and breathe up and down your spine. See it, sense it, feel it. This is all visualization through the third eye. You're centering yourself. You are centering yourself. It's not in the middle of the body. No, it's the spine. The spine holds the main 5 chakras. And then the third eye is, off of the spine, above the spine. And then obviously the crown is not attached to the spine anymore either. But, the fifth, the fourth, the third, the second, the first, it's all woven into the spine, those chakras. So again, play with it. You may have to practice it. You may need to come back to it and keep working with it. That's okay. Rome wasn't built in a day. But see if you can just, stay in your breath at a minimum. See if you can stay in your spinal alignment. Breathe up and down your spine at a minimum. Build in the grounding, which is very absolutely foundational for your light embodiment, right? So do the best you can right now with what you have and where you're at. And from here, let's continue. So here we are, right? You are in your energy field. You are aware of this is your energy. You now need to learn to stay in your energy. You now need to retrain yourself to be and stay in your energy, which means you're aware of life, you're aware of the illusion, but you are releasing the patterning that wants to control anybody or anything. Yeah. No more controlling of anybody or anything, but learning to stay in your own energy, which will enable you to stay in your higher self, in your soul, in your divine goddess self communication, understanding that there's going to be a timing for everything, understanding what words to speak, understanding the highest perspectives to take on things, understanding that as you're maintaining yourself in your inner awareness, in your inner presence, you are now going to be the divine communication. You are now going to be in that sacred oneness within yourself. And that's the role of the feminine energy, right? And so, understanding that, yes, you will still be in life. Of course, you're still going to use your masculine energy, of course. But it's going to be guided by your divinity. It's going to be guided by your divine light. It's going to be guided by the real you. So you'll be easing into that ability to seek out the highest perspective, and you'll know, oh, this was karma. Oh, this was a lesson. Oh, okay. yeah, you know, trusting the unfolding of the divine orchestration. And from here, you're also going to be able to speak from your feminine energy, holding this space for yourself. This hair is going to drive me insane. Holding yourself, you know, in your space, you are now able to maintain that open heart, right? And you're able to speak from this wisdom that is your feminine energy as well. Remember, it's your intuition, it's your knowing, it's your wisdom. So not only are you going to be thinking in alignment with your higher self and your light, you're going to start speaking from this wisdom, knowing that not everything always needs to be said. Understanding and learning that you being in your authenticity and you feeling everything and you staying in your own energy, that vibration is so powerful and it speaks volumes. And from here, you're also now staying in this alignment. You're going to be guided. You're going to be guided on what actions to take. And so now you being in this relationship, right? You are present to yourself in your own energy and you're in this relationship and he's the masculine or she's the masculine, if it's same sex. And he's aware of that he is the serving energy. The masculine energy is the serving energy. He is the provider. He's the protector, right? He's the builder. You're the divine channel. So when you are in yourself and you're feeling or receiving the guidance as to what would be to the highest and greatest good when it comes to the relationship or when it comes to a family member or when it comes to the home or when it comes to, you know, anything regarding life, perhaps even the business that the two are building together or the projects that they are involved in, right? So the feminine, is the channel for the divine guidance. And so she'll share with him the masculine energy, or her, the masculine energy, this guidance, right? And he's going to be open and receptive to it because he understands the dynamics of divinity, of sacred union, of sacred relationship. Of course, this requires a lot of trust because she has to be well established in her light, in her guidance, right? And he'll feel if she's trying to manipulate, of course, too, if he's healed and deeply seated in his masculine. And he's going to feel, you know, that guidance being correct. Or, for example, you being in your feminine energy, yeah, you staying in your own energy, and you know, he's doing something. Let's say he's doing something and for some reason something triggered him into an old pattern, into an old energy, right? So you as the feminine, it is very important for you to stay in your own energy, stay right here and not let yourself get triggered, not let yourself get pulled into the wanting to help, not wanting to mother, don't let yourself get pulled into the, you know, anxious attached because you're afraid. Don't let yourself get pulled into the avoidant, meaning playing like aloof and not caring, right? Those are all masculine energy patterns. None of them are going to work with a masculine energy. Let me say that again. All of these ways are the old paradigm ego patterns. You're not your beliefs. You're not your old fears. You're not your old coping mechanisms, defense mechanisms, protection mechanisms. You're none of these attachment forms. You're none of these old abandonment wounds. You're none of the old pain. But when it does get triggered, it is very important for you to come back into yourself, into your space. Breathe up and down your spine. And so, you know, whatever he's doing over there, whatever you're witnessing, whatever you're observing of him getting pulled into an old energy, an old dynamic, it is not yours in this moment to fix or get engaged with. You are your responsibility in this moment. Do not come at that with more masculine energy. Do not come at that with more old wounding or patterning. But instead, you have to be strong enough and wise enough to stay in your own energy, mark your space, come back into your centered breath, back into your feminine energy. If you were pulled back up and down your spine, breathe up and down your spine, come back into yourself. Nothing is that urgent. Nothing is that urgent, unless it's life or death, obviously, but you'll know the difference. Back into your energy, back into yourself, breathing up and down your spine. And from here, you first need to process yourself, because remember the golden rule of Goddess work. You always tend to yourself first. You always tend to yourself first. You always tend to yourself first. If you're triggered, you're not in your feminine energy. So you need to make sure that you're processing through whatever just got triggered, right? Whatever just got triggered by what just was experienced by you, whether it's wanting to attach, wanting to run away, wanting to, throw a hissy fit because you're emotionally flooded, whatever it is, none of that. That's all masculine energy. It's all ego. You're staying in yourself, you're observing yourself, you're witnessing yourself. That's what Goddess does, unconditionally, no judgment. That's also all old masculine patterning. It's not feminine. Feminine is unconditional. Feminine is acceptance. Feminine is patience. You're staying in yourself. You're breathing through it. You're not thinking into it. Remember, don't think, breathe and feel. You're processing through it. And you take the time you need with yourself in your own energy. And then from here, as you're settling, as you're getting calmer, as you're back in your center and you're back in your feminine energy, you've now put yourself first. Because by you putting yourself first, you are serving the relationship at large. This is, of course, applicable to all other areas of life. When you learn to not focus on the other or the situation, but keep focusing onto yourself, putting yourself first, your peace, your feminine energy first, you are going to change this planet. You are not only going to change your relationship dynamics, you're not only going to change your way of attracting everything you want, you are going to imprint your divinity into your environment. Because remember, in the feminine energy, you're the magnet. So let's say you're now here, you're aware, you've reestablished your space, you're in your grounding, you're breathing up and down your spine, you're in your body, you're in your center, yes? And now from here, you're noticing, you're feeling, you're receiving the guidance as to, okay, so what's the action to take, right? You're now receiving the guidance as to how to activate your masculine energy. You're receiving the highest guidance, the highest knowing, the highest wisdom from within your being, from within your light, from within your true self as to how to respond. And it could be just, taking a break, going into the other room. It could be just staying in yourself and just letting him know you're here, you're watching, you're observing, and with an open heart and from within your feminine energy. If he is pretty healed masculine, he'll immediately understand what it is that you're doing. He'll immediately catch himself. He'll immediately notice that he is not in his authenticity, in his grounding, right? Because by you being in your open heart, in your feminine energy, in your center, in your body, remember you're the magnet. Remember you're the divine. And if he's your contracted soul to be with, if he's your sacred union partner, if he's the soul that was here, is here to fulfill these contracts that you guys have set out to come here and fulfill together, then this is the only way that you hold space for yourself and therefore for the sacred union of your relationship. It's never going to happen by you jumping back into old masculine patterns. You see the difference? It is by you staying or returning, doing what you have to, do the work, always process through whatever you need to process to come back into your feminine, into your body, into your grounding, into your presence. And that is going to be the vibration that he is designed to find his safety within. That is the vibration that his body is programmed to respond to. Because we're moving into these sacred unions now that are not going to be like serial monogamous relationships, one after the next after the next. No. We're moving into, sacred union that's most likely for life. And the two of you, masculine and feminine, that are ready to be in these sacred unions, your bodies are designed for each other. Your chemistry is designed for each other. Your soul's calling is designed for each other. Your mission work is designed for each other. You are designed to be here together to do this work in this lifetime. And so all you have to do is come back into this setup, centered, grounded, clear, present in yourself, in your feminine energy, in your body. And if he is your sacred partner, he'll catch himself right away. Of course, he has to be, healed to some degree, right? Obviously, when somebody is still totally lost and in their ego and all over the place, that's never going to happen, right? I mean, so you have to understand there are levels to this work, and we're talking readiness, right? And so then from here, think of it, a little bit further, that yes, you staying in your feminine energy in this way is going to be the light channel, is going to be you being able to say if he makes a suggestion, right? And you now stay in yourself and you feel, right? Because you're in your intuition, you're in your body. So you feel what feels right and what doesn't. And you feel what feels good and what doesn't. And you just let him know. You share that, you express that. And then, it's for him to want to make it better. It's for him to make you feel safe. It's for him to make you feel in your acknowledgement of this divine exchange, right? Because he is the protector. He is the provider. He is the fixer. He is the one that is meant to put most of these things into action. And you're the one that's most of the vision. Obviously, we're all going to still be using our masculine energy all the time, right? But it's going to come from a much more divinely guided place. Feminine energy, divinely guiding how to use the masculine energy correctly. And as you can see, it is really to the feminine, even though physically the masculine is the protector, spiritually, the feminine is the protector, right? He is the protector to any and everything that's external. But the feminine energy is the protector to everything that has to do with the realms of spiritual, of vibration, right? She is the one that holds the space for that sacred union, soul connection when both are in the feminine energy. She is the one that holds the space for the highest vibration of the union at all times. She is the one that is in the divinity at all times because she is the feminine energy. And the feminine energy is always the leading energy because it's always to the highest and greatest good. It's always from the highest divine guidance that both are in surrender to, that both are of service to. And that's how the highest mission work will get completed. Both working together, obviously. But for the female, for the feminine, the one in the feminine energy, this is the power that you hold. This is the safety that you hold for him to relax into. This is the call of the divine. This is the space that you are holding, not just for the relationship, but for yourself. So you're always tending to yourself. You're always paying attention to what it is that you need. You're always paying attention to how you need to fill your cup. You're always aware of what it is that you need, and you need it first, because you can never be this from an empty cup. So you, as the feminine, always in your body, in your inner awareness, knowing what it is that you need and making sure that you are going to give it to yourself. Staying focused onto yourself, open heart, divine channel for all the greatness that you are here to be and for all the greatness that you are here to manifest. I hope this makes sense. It takes a bit of practice, but you're ready. If you're still watching this video, you're ready. So don't get impatient. Don't let your ego tell you you can't do it. Practice it, whether you're in relationship or not. This holding of your space is applicable for all areas of life, and we're going to dive into those as well in some of the upcoming episodes. But for you to stay in yourself quickly when it comes to, let's say, a business project, it works the same way. Because remember, when you're in yourself, when you're in your feminine energy and your divinity, you are the magnet. And you're also in that receiving of the guidance, the highest guidance as to how to proceed with your project. That was the nutshell form. Thank you so much for your time and your presence and your energy on this platform. And as always, I am grateful for you. I am grateful for your light, and love and light blessings to you and yours. Hugs and kisses. Ciao for now.